Brandon, welcome to the Pet Buzz.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
So many times when we learn about wildfires, especially on the news, the media has a tendency to cover wildfires out west, specifically California. But that's not necessarily the case. There are wildfires that occur throughout the country, yes?
We're seeing wildfires all year round, pretty much every month. Yeah, just last night and yesterday, Kentucky popped a couple of different fires, and we are mobilizing resources from Florida to head up there to help them. We in Florida currently are starting to dry out and getting a lot drier. So we've already had a couple different wildfires and are bolstering our resources here and trying to be able to stop them or work with them and keep everything safe.
Even of last summer here in Florida when it was so hot and so dry, and we had very little rain as compared to past years. So it's a big concern everywhere you go.
Exactly, it is, and that's becoming more and more prevalent across the country, especially in the southern area and areas that haven't seen frequent wildfires.
Can you give us some fire prevention tips?
Definitely. It's great, first off, to see so many more people going out into the woods. I love seeing it. It's great to see people getting experience in national forests, parks, and public lands. Biggest thing I can tell anyone is be vigilant. Not hyper vigilant, but just be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what you're doing, where you are, especially if you're planning on doing a day hike or overnight hike or car camping. If you're going to have that campfire or warming fire or whatever if you're gonna light something on fire, if you're gonna grill, even make sure you are aware of your surroundings and where you're having that fire at. If you do have a campfire on the ground, we suggest that people dig it in at least a foot into the ground and line the area with rocks if they're available. Other good ideas for tips for that, putting a fire on the ground, is keep it away from needle cast, the pine needles or your brush or grass or anything that's can easily burn. Remember when you have a fire on the ground, you have the embers and you do the pops and stuff, that the ash and stuff can come out and start a fire. So just be vigilant where you are. Lastly, when you're done, put it out completely. It's good. We recommend that people carry a shovel. It doesn't have to be a full-on big gardening shovel. It can be a fold-up backpack shovel that you can take with you, and a bucket of water. They have collapsible buckets now. We suggest that the person completely drowns the fire, stirs it, drowns it again, and then checks with the back of your hand to make sure it's cool. And if it's not cool, start over until you can actually touch everything, and then you can leave. And this isn't just for leaving permanently, but if you're going to leave for a couple of hours to go for a hike, but coming back to your camp spot, please still put it out, because that still, an unintended campfire can cause wildfires.
One of the things I remember from a few months ago, I think it was a California situation where a couple had a party and they were going to do a reveal. Are you familiar with this
Yeah,
story?
the gender reveal with yes, the
Right. And
explosives.
right. And they started a fire. And I think one of the things that really kind of stuck with me is that they could possibly be liable
Correct.
financially. And a lot of people are not familiar with that. I'm thinking that that kind of bill would be in the thousands and millions or millions,
Definitely in the
billions of
millions.
dollars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so we kind of say it with our prescribed fire, that's your fire. Once you light it, it is yours. Not just the fire is yours, but also the smoke. So kind of go with that. The burning in a backyard, burning brush and debris, burn piles in your backyard or property. Once you light that fire is your fire. The smoke is your smoke. So you want to be aware of where that smoke is going. We don't want to smoke out our neighbors, and definitely don't want to smoke out our road. The same thing with the pile. If it's too big, you'll throw a lot of ember and you could cast a lot of spots a long ways away. So just be kind of, as I go back to it, be vigilant.
Can you talk to us about the importance of having an evacuation plan for homeowners and their pets?
You should definitely have that plan to get out of the house if there is a natural disaster or a fire coming. Uh, we tell people during the summers to make sure they have a go bag. Important documents, important photos, things you don't want to lose, birth certificates, social security cards, those type of things, all packed up in a spot to where you can just grab and go. Same thing would go for your pets. I know personally in our house, we have during the summer, we'll make a pet bag. It has the dog, a couple days worth of dog food, a couple days worth of cat food, some different items that we need, their collars, leashes, type things that we can just literally grab it, throw it in the vehicle and move on and not really have to worry about whether we forgot something. or if we are sure if you got everything, because we already pre-packed it.
Do you recommend like making sure you have extra cloths or face mask or something? I mean, a lot
A
of
good,
time, or should we
just
wet our pet down?
don't wet anything down.
Okay.
That can cause actually steam burns if it does get too hot, because
Okay.
the water evaporating off will steam. The best thing you can do if you are prone to lung asthma problems or breathing problems, just a clean cloth over your face and mask and nose. That will help filter out some of the smoke, to help you breathe a little bit better. If it gets really thick in the area we're at, the lower you are to the ground, the cleaner the air is going to be.
Because I know a lot of times when there's a wildfire coming and people start evacuating the area, you know, they have their children, their pets in the car, and the traffic gets so big that
Yep.
they want to get out of the car. Do you recommend they get out of the car?
I wouldn't recommend getting out of the car, especially on the roads with people evacuating. People panic. That's another thing with being pre-planned. If the fire is in the area and you have any inclination that it might be coming to you or coming to your neighborhood, it's best to get out early if you want to evacuate. The worst thing is the last minute evacuations, because it not only hampers you and slows you down, it slows us down getting into the areas we need to protect and to evaluate and to see what we can do to slow a fire or hurt it around an area.
There's very little coverage about how wildfires affect local wildlife. Can you give us a little talk about
Yeah,
that?
definitely. And a lot of the large fires, it's not what you would see, what you think of in a movie where everything is burned black. It's all burned down, the trees, everything's gone. Natural fire, and when we have our wildfires, don't burn everything. There's areas of high intensity, and then there's areas where it might have just creeped along the ground, burned up the leaf litter and that sort of stuff, or didn't even get into an area. So fire is a natural part of the ecosystem, as we know. So these animals have adapted, have lived with it for thousands of years. They know to when to move. They see the signs. A lot of them will go to the ground, get into burrows and wait it out. A lot of the larger animals, they definitely will herd away, move away from the fires, move away from the smoke. Unfortunately, it does happen where we do find animals burned over. There's been several firefighters that have found bears, and we've brought them back in and helped get them with care facilities and got them back to health. But it does happen, unfortunately.
Well, any other comments or concerns that you can share with us?
I want to bring people's attention to the new ad council ads they put out for this year. It's the Smoky AI. It's kind of a really cool little emoji thing. It's not downloadable, unfortunately, but it shows it on the commercial. Pretty humorous about the people camping and Smoky telling them how to have their campfire, what to do to put it out, and then people grilling outside, how to grill and tips to grill to be safe. So it's pretty funny. Good way to bring Smoky into the 21st century.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to find out more information, we can definitely point in the right direction with smokybear.com. And then if you follow on the social medias, we have at Smoky Bear on Instagram and Facebook, and at Smoky_bear on Twitter.
Before you leave, can you give us the website for the USDA Forest Service?
USDA.gov.
Brandon, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for viewing our content on Pet Buzz Plus.